Hey y'all, welcome back. All right, let's go ahead and dive in and see what Divine Holy Spirit has for the collective. The cards are all upright and in order by way of major arcana and through each element. I hope y'all are well. Holy Spirit of the highest white light consciousness, what do you have for the collective? What does the collective need to know and be made aware of at this time? I heard suspended. Something about communication, suspended. Somebody's trapped here. So their communication efforts with you are cut off. Fighting crime. So this is you receiving justice, collective. So however the communication was, it could not be by means of a physical device. It could be even some sort of spiritual way of communicating that's been cut off. Thank you, Spirit, for that. I heard death toll. And no longer able to reach. So we're dealing with a spirit. I feel this is an energy of an entity that had a death toll, like a goal in mind, but they're no longer able to reach that death toll or goal. So that means whoever this person, this entity, whoever they were operating through, the vessel energy, that's been shut off. So we can say that this entity had recruiters, agents, those that popped in your life, collective, knowing you were divinely guided of energy. You know, they were recruited to come and stop, block, sometimes even destroy, unalive you, unfortunately. But that's where the death toll energy is coming from. All right, thank you for that, Spirit. Let's see what else is here, y'all. I heard self-described. So this vessel took over individuals who they had no idea that they were even inhabited by this entity. That's why there was so much conflict, because you were dealing with a vessel that had been taken over by an entity. So you were no longer talking to that person directly that you knew them to be. You were speaking to the entity. All right, y'all, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Temperance card reverse. So I'm hearing out of whack. Something's out of whack here. I'm hearing coming to terms now. So now that the entity, that presence has left a particular vessel, the person's left with nothing. The entity basically came in and robbed their vessel, their home, their house. Got what it is they needed, or saw that the vessel was no longer useful to them, to the entity. So the entity just left, robbed them blind and left. So that's why this person's in a Temperance reverse order here. So from a physical point of view, you can definitely witness this for yourself on this person. The energy's all there. It's like, you know, coming home to an empty house. So this person could be battling mental illness because they've been robbed of who they were, you know, before that entity showed up. Now, they could have been like a decent person, you know, before then, but there's something there. You saw the shift. You recognize the shift even when you tried to tell this person that, you know, there's either something going on with you or some people around you maybe are motivating you to act this way. No, it was the entity inside of them. That's why they didn't know what you were talking about. That's why they were easy to blame you as being the one crazy for calling them out. They didn't see this because they were taken over. So how are you going to be able to tell them who they are when they're not even a true representation of who they are from what they've known? Make sense? So that's the bottom of the deck energy for what we're about to get into. I'm going to jump down to these two cards. So we have a Six of Pentacles here on the side and a Eight of Swords in the opposite position, but they're both on the side. Let me feel the energy, see what's going on here. So there's a catch-22 energy here. This person who tied themselves to generating like a prosperous or prosperity energy from others, they were taking more than what they were giving. It had them trapped in some sort of way. But now them being released from that energy, they're still trapped from not having access to what it is that they need. Because remember, this person just snapped out of something. They just woke up because that entity has left, but they're waking up to an empty home and wondering, why, where's all my furniture? Where am I? So the trap reference, the Eight of Swords, they were trapped either way. The first scenario was taking from others, and then the second scenario, them being taken from, but not even knowing who did it. So that's causing them to be in a remorseful stage. So it's going to be kind of difficult for them to snap out of this mental confinement. That's what the Eight of Swords represents. To be able to get back on track and healthy the way that they once were. Because I'm hearing you're never going to get that back. Because this person's holding on to, man, that was a nice couch, or I had the best TV, or I had the best apartment, the best location. They're hanging on to that emphasis of that's when they were living good, but it was the entity that was providing all of that lifestyle, that luxury for them. But this person's hanging on to what they lost due to being inhabited by the entity. So there's a lot of interesting perspectives here. And if you understand, that means that, it's like you're telling me, duh. I live that. I know exactly what you're talking about. But to those who don't understand what I'm saying, then this message isn't quite for you yet. All right, y'all, let me keep going. In the middle of the reading, I like to call this the heart of the matter. We're going to dive in and see what's going on here. So this person was working their way up to something, some sort of achievement here when it comes to those pentacles. But they got greedy. The Six of Pentacles was telling me earlier that they were taking more than they were giving back out. There wasn't any balance here. That's why they're in the Temperance reverse energy. It's imbalance. What else about the Eight of Pentacles, Spirit? I'm hearing high achiever, but they were being a high achiever, like they move up in the ranks of evil. I'm hearing unbeknownst to them. Because remember, their vessel had been taken over. So what seemed like a good thing to them, but on the outside looking in, people are like, that's not a good idea. But to them, they felt for some odd reason that it was a good idea. That's why they were flirting with danger. They were flirting with jail time. They were flirting with getting caught. They were moving up in the ranks of that energy, but to you and I, we're saying that was dumb, that was stupid, after the fact. But while they were in it and something else had taken over their vessel, it was giving them the green light the whole time. You and I we could have talked till we were blue in the face to this person to tell them something's not right, something's going on with you, people around you, what is it? Something's changed about you. You would have never convinced them otherwise. But now they've awakened to whatever this is that they've been robbed. Their house is empty. Let's see what's going on next to this Eight of Pentacles while they were, coming up in the ranks. You have the Moon card reverse. This lets me know that there were people even falling around them, but they figured that was giving them more amp and more power to continue to move up. But they saw like I'll say co-workers, because I feel like this was some sort of ring energy. I mean, if they were already doing seedy things, then that means there was an operation here, moving up in the ranks. So they were seeing that other people were being pulled to the side or questioned, apprehended. Maybe somebody, live by the sword, dies by the sword sort of energy. They were seeing this happen around them, but for some reason, this person just kind of kept going. They didn't bow out and say, oh, I don't want, to be the next person in line for whatever this is. Let me just go ahead and back away. No. So whatever this is, by people succumbing to things, and that could even be you, collective, you being in a bad way and knowing now that this person might have had something or everything to do with that. This is what gave them more power. Behind the Moon card reverse, we have the Queen of Swords here. What else? Who else is here? Look. We have a Knight of Pentacles reverse, a King of Wands reverse. Spirit, tell me about this dysfunctional home here. This is the cooperation right here. I'm hearing here are your major players, but possibly the Moon card reverse being with these 3 court cards, or three people possibly. I haven't felt the energy just yet to tell you who's who. But these are the people, I said they were seeing people fall from the wayside, and then 3 people turn up here by way of court cards. But let's see, what's going on with the Queen of Swords, Spirit? I heard entrapment just now. I heard ringleader, negotiator. I'm hearing this Queen of Swords was disguised. And now that I look at it, they're the only ones upright in this entire scenario of a group of people. Ringleader, disguised. What about this Knight of Pentacles reverse, Spirit? What's going on with the Knight of Pentacles? I heard easy come, easy go. So they always had some, so I mentioned recruits earlier. They always had recruiters come in, recruits, easy come, easy go. This Queen of Swords still was able to get to some sort of bag energy here. Doesn't matter who showed up. I guess as long as they were breathing, they were able to exchange whatever the exchange was. It could even be them taking calls. We could be talking about escort energy. As long as they were breathing, then they were able to get this $40 is what I'm hearing. $40. Whatever $40 would represent. I don't know what you can buy in the streets for $40 when it comes to sexual exchanges. I have no idea. But there was some buying and some selling going on here in regards to that. So she was the recruiter in disguise, some sort of disguise energy. Now, this King of Wands reverse, Spirit, what's going on with this? They're turned in the opposite direction, but they're not in a good way here. This King of Wands, it's like they turned their back on the operation is what I'm hearing. What else about the King of Wands reverse, Spirit? I heard energy. Okay, so I'm hearing somebody had to be on the street level to be able to show their face. And I'm hearing there was some kind of muscle, like security even. So maybe this is giving, okay, so I'm going to just say what it is. This is giving like a pimp energy right here. Mind you, the Queen of Swords is the one who got to some sort of bag here. At the end of the day, the Queen of Swords got the bag. I don't know how or who the bag came from, in what way, because they were in some sort of disguise here. So this Queen of Swords could have been working for some sort of federal agents. Yeah, I mean, we are talking about the Moon card reverse, you guys. So something came out in regards to this. This King of Wands is the one who's trying to head out the back door, but they can't. They're stuck to this operation here. All right, y'all, let me keep going. Let me keep going. All right, so we talked about the Eight of Pentacles. Somebody moving up in the ranks, right? So the moving up in the ranks reference could come from a Queen of Swords who was an informant. She knows the ways of the street and the game and the operation, how this goes. She got recruited and she brought on recruitees by way of that Knight of Pentacles reverse. As long as they were breathing, they could get the $40. This King of Wands got caught up because they're the ones I see somebody holding a map or a blueprint. They knew the ways of the street. They were on the ground. This Queen of Swords was not. Once upon a time, you know, they possibly knew how to navigate things. I'm getting something about a recipe and ingredients. So they know the workings and the ways of whatever this is that they were moving up in the ranks of, because possibly they could have a background in this. But maybe their pursuit to justice, or either trying to get less time for something, is just throw me in the game, coach. Throw me in the game. What you need me to do? That's what I'm getting for the Queen of Swords. Put me in the game, coach. I'm ready to play. The coach or the agents. Because she's the Queen of Swords is an informant. Okay, let me turn this card over underneath the Eight of Pentacles. We have the Sun card. Look at that. I said they were moving up in the ranks, y'all. So they got out of something. We went from the Moon card to the Sun card. This Moon card reverse has now revealed who this Queen of Swords really was in this entire operation. That's why this King of Wands is trying to head out the back door, but I heard it's too late. And that's why this Temperance card is reversed. There's a call for balance here. This Ace of Pentacles reverse, and then the Three of Swords reverse. So there was some sort of love connection here, because there's heartbreak. Why else would they be brokenhearted? I believe because the Queen of Swords had to play some sort of role with this King of Wands that was very manipulative. The Queen of Swords words and actions were saying one thing, but behind the scenes they were really the plug, the informant. So that Ace of Pentacles reverse means that they had to do something they didn't want to do in order to get to the bag. Because I made that reference early on. This Queen of Swords was getting to some kind of bag here. But it's the way they went about it. And it's something that's paining them what they had to do to be able to get to this. I'm hearing justice for all right now. What is the justice for all reference? I heard persuasion and education. So this was some sort of advocacy with the Queen of Swords. Like I said, they came from the ground, but I'm hearing it was much more advanced and developed. But this is why she stepped in, this Queen of Swords. I don't mean to be gender-based, but that's why the Queen of Swords stepped in, to be able to bring awareness to this. But this King of Wands reverses somebody that they had to hurt. And they're hurting because they had to hurt this King of Wands. But that's because they were lying. They were being deceitful all this time to the King of Wands. And the King of Wands has just learned this. Moon card reverse. That's why they're in the Temperance reverse energy. I said somebody's mentally disturbed because, oh, y'all, I said their house got robbed, meaning their vessel. The entity is gone now. Now they wake up and see, where's all my furniture? Matter of fact, why am I out on the street? Where am I? That's the robbing energy. Whew. All right, let me slide over here and see what's going on. I'm going to turn this one card over and see. So we have the Page of Pentacles, all these Pentacles out here. And the Page of Pentacles on top of a Six of Cups. A Ten of Pentacles reverse. I told you these two, they must go way back. They must go way back, y'all. That would be the Six of Cups representation. That Ten of Pentacles reverse. This, I'm just saying, like, they're like the best of chum buddies is what I'm saying. Laughing and sitting on I'm seeing like the steps of an apartment building, like maybe as teenagers. And now they're full-grown adults. So they've known each other for some time. Ten of Pentacles, they've always had some sort of plan. Maybe they joked about, man, one day we're going to be so rich, man. You know, when they were children. And then it manifests into adults. But the King of Wands didn't know that the Queen of Swords was really an agent at the end of the day. Or turned out to be an agent. Oh, look, there's a Justice card. So the energy was there because it was mentioned in the channeling. All right, y'all. I don't know who this is for, but let me get some clarifiers, see what else is going on here. I heard their world has been rocked. And I believe it has to do with whoever's house got robbed, but I feel like it's that King of Wands. They got robbed, y'all. And this is one of those, they got robbed with their own gun. They trusted the wrong person. But the thing was, it's like, well, how did they know to see this coming when these people practically were best friends, grew up together, energy, known each other for years. So why would they expect to be betrayed by this person? Yeah. Spirit, please let the cards fall as they may. Ooh, that one slapped itself out. Imprisonment. All right, y'all, we have poverty at the bottom of the deck. 3 and 7's 10. That's the conclusion here. They were robbed. They were robbed on so many levels, y'all. We talking about from the 3D, from the ground, to the high-ranking spiritual energy. They've been robbed. Oh, another thing I wanted to tell y'all, too, I got a download yesterday that the one who was coming up against you using their spiritual gifts, now we know that they lost their gifts, but the gifts have to go somewhere. The gifts are being transferred over to you because they'll be in the best possible hands that way. So we're getting a transfer of gifts from the people who use their gifts against us. So y'all be on the lookout for your new gifts, okay? Let me turn this card over that's on top of this energy if they've known this person. Wealthy man, y'all. Wealthy man. So somebody really came up and like, man, we finally made it. So remember we were talking about XYZ or what you into these days. I mean, yeah, you could slide. I'm hearing that. You could slide. Come on board. Yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And you know what? I wonder about this and I thought about this. And then, y'all, it was that because they trusted each other. So it wasn't even like, you crazy. You shouldn't even. No, it's like, okay, it's bet. What we talking about here? On top of the imprisonment card that's in the reverse, we have change in the reverse. Y'all, they're not getting out. They got themselves caught up in this. 2 and 9's 11. That's a pair. That's a couple. They've joined some sort of karmic union here with a situation even. They can't get out of it. So I'm hearing life behind bars at this point. Because to change would mean, can they lessen anything that's happening here to keep them behind bars or in prison? Can they, is there any leniency here to get them out? No. This is a permanent sentence right here. Whatever just took place. All right, y'all. I hope this helps.